If you caught last week's video, you know that the plan was to move on from watercolors last week since we had been doing them for a while. But I felt the need for the relaxation of watercolor blobs. So I guess technically I should have moved on from watercolor for this week. But I really wanted to try my version of an autumn branch I saw on Andrea Nelson's Instagram, and I thought you'd enjoy it too. And since it's Thanksgiving week, I figured it would be time to move on from autumn. I know some of you already have your Christmas decorations up. Welcome to week 47 of the 52-week art journal journey. I'm Melinda, and I'm here to encourage you to reclaim your creativity and establish a healthy habit of creative self-care with my simple form of art journaling. One small art and journaling prompt each week for 1 year. If you've been around the 52-week art journal journey for a while, you know that I've enjoyed watercolors far more this year than I expected. If you're new and curious, check the description for a link to explain what exactly this 52-week art journal journey is. And be sure not to miss week 1, where we made our journals and this journey our own. There's also info on how to get an economical mixed media art journal to get started. This week's project starts with an autumny watercolor wash. As usual, I am using an inexpensive set of watercolors from a $1-ish store to show that it doesn't need to cost a lot of money to reclaim your creativity. This isn't the first time that we have used complementary colors to make a more muted autumn color palette. Remember that if you want to tone down your red, use green. To tone down your yellow, use purple. And your orange, blue. The complementary colors. They kind of cancel each other out, but you can play with your levels to get something you find interesting. And you can also play around with adding some of the other colors. My autumn leaf color background came out a little dark, or at least a little darker than I had intended, but that's okay. I'd also made everything too wet, so I used a paper towel to both deal with the excess and create some texture. I made this week's small art on a horizontal page. If it weren't for some filming limitations, I would have gone vertical, but in the end, I'm glad it was horizontal. My project also ended up going rather differently from what I remember of Andrea Nelson's. She did several layers of leaves, letting them dry in between, and created a very full branch with a lot of depth. Given the size of my page, my leaves are smaller, and when I went back to add another layer, I decided I really liked the more delicate look. So I decided to stick with it. I have been wanting to try to paint to mark make with a twig. Granted, I would at some point like to use something a little larger than this with a little less control, but I wanted to keep a better handle on where my branch was actually going. It's a simple project this week that you can make less simple or take longer on as much as you'd like. And it's Thanksgiving week, at least for us here in the US. But regardless of where you live, it's never a bad time to think about all the things we have to be grateful for. And that is our simple prompt for journaling this week. Things that we're thankful for. And if you'd like, the importance of gratitude. How does choosing to focus on your blessings and the things you're thankful for affect your outlook on life? I am so glad, I am grateful that you are here and that you have taken the time to watch this video, hopefully with the intention of taking some time for creative self-care art making. I'll be back next week with another small art and journaling prompt. In the meantime, enjoy some watercolor fall leaves. And if you have time this week, have fun with some other art. You can check out past videos for more inspiration. And you can also check out Andrea Nelson's Instagram, which I refer people to on a pretty regular basis these days. If you decide to share any of your small art on Instagram to encourage others to reclaim their creativity and practice creative self-care, tag me, Melinda Van Rye. You could also tag me at better.with.art. As I am moving into selling more of my art and items I make with my art, while also continuing to encourage people to practice self-care, I decided to separate those two things a little more on Instagram. I won't just be trying to sell things over on Melinda Van Rye, though. I will continue to share art inspiration. And, of course, the occasional creative self-care content. But better.with.art, let's just say Better with Art, will focus on creative self-care and the importance of creativity to our mental health. Again, I say I am thankful for the opportunity to encourage you to reclaim your creativity and practice creative self-care. Art making is not a waste of time.